been a wild week again, folks, across the markets and the macro landscape. There's tariff talk back on the table. Rumors of $2,000 stimulus checks are circulating, while the government shutdown is causing issues across traveling as well as many other things across the nation. And now we have 50-year mortgages getting thrown into the mix as well. Meanwhile, the crypto market is sitting in extreme fear yet again, with Bitcoin hovering around $102,000. These ranges have been truly testing patience, testing discipline, and testing conviction of many. But as we head into the weekend, here's a few key levels that I'm looking for here on Bitcoin, as well as a few others in the market. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash. Now, before we continue, folks, I want to take a moment and talk about one of the smartest ways to protect and grow your crypto long term, especially as the market cycle continues to heat up here. If you're someone who believes in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any of the major digital assets for the long run, you have to understand how powerful a crypto IRA can be. With iTrustCapital, you can buy, sell, and trade crypto within a tax-advantaged retirement account, meaning that your gains can grow either tax-deferred or even tax-free, depending on whether you choose a traditional or Roth IRA. And unlike a standard brokerage account, every trade you make inside your IRA does not trigger a taxable event. So you're keeping more of your profits working for you over time. And if you already have a 401k or an IRA sitting idle somewhere, iTrustCapital makes it seamless to roll it over into crypto. They're the largest and most trusted crypto IRA platform in the United States, with a 5-star rating on Trustpilot and US-based support team that actually picks up the phone when you call them. For those of you focused on security, iTrust also offers their Premium Custody Account, or PCA, a closed-loop system designed to keep your assets protected from hacks and scams. Your funds can only move between your verified bank account and iTrust, nowhere else. This is the same institutional-grade custody framework used by major firms like BlackRock and MicroStrategy, but accessible to everyday investors through iTrust. So if you're serious about building long-term wealth in crypto and want to do it in a way that's both tax efficient and secure, check out iTrustCapital. And here's the best part, folks. When you sign up today, you'll receive $100 from iTrust to jumpstart your investment. It's a perfect time to get positioned for the next leg of this cycle and do it in the smart way. So be sure to visit iTrustCapital.com or use the link down in our descriptions below to learn more. So let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Again, we're trading pretty much where we were trading over the weekend here. As this was Sunday, we were in the $101,000 area. We started off the week with a nice little burst up to about $107,000, and then we came back into this range you see here, which is a range I usually look for each and every single week. And generally speaking, when we started this week, we started off at the high here. It's very likely once we re-enter it that we would come down and meet some of our key levels, a weekly level being the point of control for last week as well. And that's pretty much what we did here, right? In some more shorter term local outlooks here, we had our Monday high put in place right here. On Tuesday, we came up and swept that. From there, we looked for the range rotation of Monday. Then we got back into this region here. We front ran the weekly level on Tuesday when we came down towards it. At that point, we had a new range develop, a new daily naked point of control back here at 105,000. Price was naturally gravitating towards it, got a nice little rejection from there, and then right down to our weekly level once and for all, right? So this area is not the best region to be seeking out a huge bounce from traditionally, but there are a couple of things here. So once again, one being our point of control here, which is our natural volume target. We've also have our gold pocket from our low to that recent high right there, coming in around this region as well. We're really close to the middle of this range, all right? So we're not really finding our footing here quite yet, so we'd really like to see at least the price action reclaim this 102,000 to see any type of move back to the upside. Aside from that, we're in the middle of the range here. We have not rotated the entire range yet, which is something we do tend to see pretty much each and every week here. So if we do start living down below this yet again, have to be aware that coming down to the low side of our range is going to be on the table. That's about $100,000, give or take. And then from there, we have two key levels down below us, one of which being the Mac Daddy that we've been eyeballing for quite some time, since June, 97,800. So really just kind of a tricky range here as we finish out the week. Pretty much just been a tale of two point of controls here as we've been trading pretty much just right in between the two of them. And again, nothing truly can materialize here until we start living above this 104,700. So it still remains the big key level. We had a few, basically about about a day where we closed above it here, then we lost it again. So this is the level we want to see Bitcoin get back above for more continuation towards the upside. From there, we would target our monthly average up here, okay, at 112,600 give or take, and then realistically between there and 114 is the next major area we look to. Again, 104,700 holds the key to that region. Otherwise, trading around within this area is just what we have to anticipate at this point. Any kind of line in the sand for more major downside comes if we lose 97,800, in my opinion. So still those two areas are just so key. Solana has been holding at this overall gold pocket for the last several days at this point. We got a little bit of a push back up towards about 170, but overall holding in this area here. Now, normally the more time we spend in something like this, it's more likely we actually come back down a little bit lower. But as long as we're holding around this $150 region, we want to take this back up towards the monthly average. Again, that month pivot up here at about 197. This is the key area to me. Again, this is our major harmonic level that we need to get back above for the next targets to come out of that. Otherwise, even just if we push back up here, made another lower high, it's still likely we come into this region in the month of November, which is still about 2 weeks away from us, right? So we have time, even if we flirt around down here a couple more days. I would be looking for that move here, assuming that we do hold here at $150. A retrace back to that 197 is something I'm looking for here in November. SPX getting a little bit of a cool down here, hovering over the monthly average here for November as well. Very similar to what I just looked at Solana. This is the average from last month for the S&P, and we have come down to it. Not a huge move by any means, but for the S&P, I mean, these are pretty big moves to be had, right? 2 and 3% at times. So as long as we're holding this as support here, this is what we want to see for any more bounce back to the upside. This is our current key level for any more downside here to come back down and get a little bit more of a cool down here. Nasdaq seeing a little bit of a cool down as well. Again, overall looking not too bad, but in the short term here, I can understand where people are looking at everything to top, right? Everyone's anticipating that all markets are topping and going to see a sizable correction. And to be fair, everything is due for something along those lines, but so far really it's just nothing's really broken quite yet, right? So normal cool downs, normal corrections along the way here. We even actually saw the Dow close with a new all-time high yet again yesterday, with a little bit of a cool down again back to where we were just trading at on Thursday the 30th of October. So yeah, still really just kind of tracking and trucking along here for the majority. Gold getting a bounce right off of that 382, which again is the area we were looking to, right? So we had that nice, just really strong move, nothing but upside. And a lot of times when you get those kind of blow off type of moves, you get the pullbacks that are a little bit more shallow than most people want, right? Most are targeting back towards a gold pocket or even back towards previous highs as their support. But a lot of times we actually only get a pullback towards a 382 and then we see continuation from there, right? So it's obviously no guarantee that we're going to see a huge move out of this right now, but this was definitely the area that made the most sense for me for it to come down and kind of, again, get its footing. It was a breakdown below $4,000, which really tricked a lot of people into thinking this was going to be a sizable drop. And to be fair, 10% in gold in just a few days is a very sizable drop. And while I don't anticipate it overnight by any means, if we were to continue higher from this region, the next two major zones that I'm looking for is going to be $4,600 and then up to $5,000 potentially on gold. As we wrap up, folks, please remember that weeks like this are exactly why we need to remain level-headed and grounded, right? Markets can whip around on headlines, rumors, and emotion, but if you know the key levels and the broader macro narrative, you can stay ahead of the noise. And if you would like to go deeper than what we cover here on YouTube, this is exactly what we built DataDash Pro for. Inside, you get everything you need to stay ahead of the markets like these. You get access to our private DataDash Pro Discord with over 250 active members where I share 5 to 10 trade setups weekly, market updates as well across both crypto and equities, from short-term to long-term investing, full access to my trading academy that's included in your membership, a structured step-by-step resource breaking down the indicators, the tools, the settings I use each and every day to build an edge in this market, exclusive member-only market updates before they're released publicly, plus the ability to ask me or Nicholas Merton questions anytime inside the community. And most importantly, you also get access to Nicholas Merton's Dash report, monthly newsletter, now with over 800 members, where he breaks down the next generation of emerging stocks that could potentially 5 to 10x over the coming years, along with a full 360-degree macro analysis across crypto, equities, commodities, and Forex. You also get access to Nick's mid-month webinars, where he shares portfolio updates, hosts a live Q&A session, so you can ask for technical analysis on the assets that you care about. So if that sounds interesting to you, please head on over to our website, DataDashPro.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to stay disciplined, stay focused. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, everybody, cheers.